Hi, my name is Harry, and I'm a business management student, and I'm currently aspiring to be a marketing major. I've had a huge love for business as a child, but like business, I've also had a huge love for sports. I've been a huge sports fanatic ever since I was around 5 years old. I watched many of the major sports leagues, such as the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. It is my goal to combine both of my passions of business as well as my passion for sports and get into the industry of sports business. And many of you might be wondering, what is sports business? Well, sports business is the business aspect of sports. For example, there are many different topics around this topic of sports business, such as marketing, financing, athletes, and broadcasting. The list continues to go on. With so many different factors alongside sports business, it also creates many different opportunities for jobs for people like myself. Which is why it's a huge sought after industry for our generation today. With so many different factors, it's very important that teams and leagues do their best to market everything they do and to receive as much popularity as possible to help generate wealth for the sport. One of the biggest parts of sports business is brands. There are many different brand deals in place for many of the leagues and teams. An example of this is the deal between Nike and the NBA. The deal is that Nike is allowed to create the jerseys for all the teams in the NBA. This also helps give recognition to Nike as well as bring more money in for NBA as more people buy more of their merchandise. There are also many other types of branding deals, such as broadcasting deals. One in specific is the NFL and Fox Sports. They have been in business for a very long time, as Fox Sports is a primary channel to televise NFL games, especially the sport's biggest event, the Super Bowl. So now you might be wondering, I'm only talking about the NBA and NFL. What other sports are there in North America? Well, there's two that we're missing. One is the MLB, which is known as the Major League Baseball, and the NHL, which is the National Hockey League. With all those four sports dominating the sports world in North America, you might be wondering, hey, who's valued at the most? Well, the answers may surprise you. The NFL is currently the top-rated league, which is valued at $13 billion. Next in line is the MLB, which is valued at 11 billion, while the NBA is third, ranking at 7.4 billion, and finally the NHL, which is valued at 4.43 billion. So you might be thinking, what's the NFL doing differently that the other leagues aren't doing? Well, the reason why the NFL generates so much money is they do a great job of marketing their brand, and they do it in many different ways. The NFL is famously known for the ads they put on during the Super Bowl. Many of the companies pay high dollars to have their ads placed during the Super Bowl because that's one of the most watched sporting events in history, and each year the numbers just keep going up. So the best way to get recognition, having an ad on during the Super Bowl. Another thing the NFL does is they're trying to endorse their brand globally by having more international games. For example, this past year the NFL had a couple of games that were televised in London. This upcoming season, they plan on having games played in London, Germany, and Mexico. And slowly, they're able to globalize their brand and make it a huge success globally. Currently, the highest value sports team is also an NFL team, which is the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are my favorite team and the team I've been supporting ever since I watched football. The Dallas Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, is one of the biggest marketing whizzes in the sport. He generates so much wealth, so much popularity for his team that he has so many fans across the world that support his brand and team. There are many different job opportunities in the industry of sports business. Many of the times I've scrolled through LinkedIn and I've seen many different internships offered by many of the sporting leagues. One in specific is the NFL. There was a posting for an internship at the NFL Canada to be a part of their marketing team. It's a great way to get yourself into the sports industry and a great way to slowly make your way up. Another good example of making your way up is Kyle Dubas, who is the general manager for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kyle Dubas is a former Brock University graduate who graduated with a sports management degree. He is now one of the GMs for one of the biggest teams and biggest franchises in NHL history. With this in mind, there's many other opportunities with other sports leagues through internships, and starting there could lead to something bigger. But it's important to get your foot in the door first. So in the future, I'll be looking to something like that in order to fulfill my dream of working in a sports league. In conclusion, the sports business industry is something I'm very much pursuing in the future. I think it's a great opportunity for me to start my journey and also live my dream of working for one of my favorite leagues or my favorite teams. With all these different experiences, opportunities, I feel that eventually I could reach my goal. And by the next step, it would be to become an owner of a franchise. And hey, becoming an owner would be a true dream of mine. Thank you.